In this video, we will be learning how to multiply and divide fractions. The first process we are going to learn is multiplying fractions. Moving down to our yellow box down here, we have some steps to remember when going through this process. Step 1, we're going to multiply the numerators. Step 2, we're going to multiply the denominators. And finally, step 3, we are going to reduce if needed. Let's look at the first example, 7/8 multiplied by 1/2. Step 1, multiply the numerators. 7 times 1 is 7. Step 2, multiply the denominators. 8 times 2 is 16. Step 3, reduce if needed. 7/16 is in simplest form, and therefore that is our answer. The next problem, 3/2 times 5/9. Let's multiply the numerators first. 3 times 5 is 15. Multiply the denominators. 2 times 9 is 18. And reduce if needed. So we're asking ourselves, are there any numbers that can go into 15 and 18? 2 won't work, but moving to 3, we can divide by both 3 on top and bottom. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. So our final answer for this problem is 5/6. The next process we will be learning about is dividing fractions. This is similar to multiplying fractions, except there's one extra step. This song down here in this corner is going to help us remember the steps to dividing fractions. The song goes, dividing fractions is easy as pie, flip the second fraction and multiply. So this step down here, this extra step, is flipping the second fraction. So what that means is, looking at the first example here, is that the first fraction is going to stay the same. But the second fraction, we're literally going to flip the numbers in the fraction. So instead of 3/4, this second fraction is going to be 4/3. So it says flip the second fraction and multiply. Now we're just going to go ahead and multiply fractions like we learned how to do previously. Multiply the numerators. 1 times 4 is 4. And multiply our denominators. 5 times 3 is 15. And reduce if needed, but 4/15 is in simplest form. Let's try it again for our second example. We're going to keep that first fraction the same. It's always the second fraction that we're going to be flipping. So if we flip 7/4, that's going to look like 4/7. And flip the second fraction and multiply. Again, 1 times 4 in our numerators is 4. And 3 times 7 in our denominators is 21. 4/21 is in simplified form, so that's our final answer. Okay, moving to our last example. Again, 3/8. The first fraction is going to stay the same. The only fraction that changes is the second fraction, which gets flipped. So 5/6 becomes 6/5 and multiply. 3 times 6 is 18 and 8 times 5 is 40. Now this fraction we can reduce. Let's go ahead and divide by 2 because they're both even numbers. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And 40 divided by 2 is 20. 9/20 is in simplest form, so that's going to be our answer.